Welcome back, everyone, to the Buds Mafia channel. Before we get started, please do me a favor, comment, like, subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. I love making these videos. I'd love to hear you guys' feedback, so please comment, like, subscribe. In this video, we're going to be breaking down some trade destinations and packages for the young 21-year-old defenseman Pavel Mintyukov from the Anaheim Ducks. This could be completely blown out of proportion, but he's been scratched a few games in a row. I think he finally played the other night. I'm filming this on Sunday, November 23rd. Obviously, this comes out on the 24th on Mondays. Yeah, and basically what the reports came out, I can't remember who said it, but if they're not going to play him, he would like a trade. So this could be completely blown out of proportion, but he is definitely a player who a lot of teams would have their eyes on. Like I said, 21-year-old defenseman, 2022 10th overall pick, had a great rookie year, solid last year, kind of fallen off this year, but the potential's there. Top 10 pick defenseman, is a horse, he's a monster, he can skate, kind of play on both sides of the ice, doesn't put up huge numbers, but can be reliable and has potential to be a game-breaking top 4 defenseman. Let's break down some trade packages, and let's get into it. And like I said, comment, like, subscribe.
Tavares coming out, sends it in a goal. They score! They score! Holy mackerel, they score! Morgan Riley! Mo Riley! The Leafs have won it! They're going to the second round!
Gonna run for it, he got it! And there he goes! Inside the 10, the 5! Oh, the play of the year in the NFL!
All right, so Pavel Mintyukov, in his rookie year in 23-24, 63 games played, 4 goals, 24 assists, 28 points. Last year, 68 games played, 19 points. And this year so far, I have him at the 18 games played point and 3 points and 0 goals. Like I said, some puck mover, big body, can skate. His offensive game hasn't really thrived just yet, but I think he can develop into that. He's only 21 years old. But he is an RFA at the end of this year, so I think if a team were to acquire him, I would likely need to have maybe not exact or for sure commitment because he is restricted, but definitely same thing with like K'Andre Miller, right? K'Andre Miller signs that big $7.5 million deal. I think because he hasn't proven year after year yet, I can see a bridge deal at 3 years at $5 to $6 million, probably closer to that 5, just because we haven't seen it quite yet. I can't see a team or any team offering him that 8x8. So based off this value, it will likely be, if there was a trade and a sign for the RFA defenseman, it would likely be a bridge deal at 3 years, around 5 to 6. Now, before we get into it, I kind of want to talk about some trades that historically could be compared to this. A lot of defensemen I'm going to bring up are definitely at that point were better than Mintyukov, will likely be better in the future. But this, in the past few years, maybe 10 years, some top 10 defensemen in the draft who were traded after year 3 or 4, which is similar to what Mintyukov's situation is. One, Noah Hanifin to Calgary. He was 21 as well. It was him and Lindholm for Dougie Hamilton and Michael Furlan and Adam Fox's rights. Hanifin was a 5th overall pick. I think he was a lot more established at that time. That's why it was a pick with like Dougie Hamilton as well. But that's something to keep an eye on. It was very much a 1-for-1, just a new scenario, new situation for both players. And then, also Dougie Hamilton as well. Dougie Hamilton to Calgary. Dougie Hamilton was 9th overall pick, a young top 4 defenseman. There's maybe known to be some off-ice issues with management or whatever it is. There's unsure, but it was Hamilton and a first-round pick to Calgary. Hamilton for a first-round pick and 2 second-round picks from Boston. Then another player, this is, again, a lot of these I'm not saying he's comparable at all because, career high 28 points, but we're talking about top 10 drafted defenseman, right, only a few years ago. Seth Jones at Columbus, his 4th overall a few years ago. I should say quite a while ago, and it was straight up him for Johansson. And then most recently, David Jiricek. He was a, fifth overall defenseman, a lot of hype over him coming to the World Juniors. Columbus got a 1st, a 2nd, a 3rd, and a 4th for him, which is pretty wild. But the talent's there, but the commitment and everything hasn't been yet. But that's kind of the returns that we're kind of looking at similar for Mintyukov. Again, I think he's proven, he's definitely proven a lot more in Jiricek. And Jiricek, if he's getting the 1st and a 2nd, you got to take that into account. So let's get these trade packages. Starting with the Chicago Blackhawks. Chicago, they're in a great spot. They have tons of assets to deal with. Obviously, they have Florida's 1st overall pick. They have some prospects in the system. So let's get into Chicago. They have that right side with Rinzel and Levshunov, and the left side with Vlasic is really good, but they could use another game breaker. I know they have Korchinski, but this is kind of similar to the Seth Jones trade, where it's just, to me, likely a 1-for-1 Mintyukov Korchinski. Chicago would likely have to sweeten it up a bit more because obviously Mintyukov has proved a lot more. Korchinski was 7th overall, so he's a bit higher drafted than Mintyukov, but Mintyukov has proven a lot more. Korchinski has playing great in the AHL, but really hasn't made that jump yet. So maybe a change of scenario, change of scenery, everything. They'd likely have to maybe toss in a third. I think definitely a second gets it done with Korchinski. Again, a 7th overall defenseman. Defenseman take quite a while, but I think Chicago, if they can get that done, that'd be great for both sides. Because again, players not happy, and maybe a new change of scenery for a top 10 pick for both sides. Next up, San Jose. Now they have a abundance of draft picks, prospects, and mainly on forward. They have Sam Dickinson, they have Luca Cognoni, but another defenseman prospect would do them very well. They have so many up front, obviously with Misa, Celebrini, Smith, Eklund. I feel like I'm missing another one. But yeah, and they have tons of players, but another defenseman. Not like Mintyukov is going to be your number one D-man, but just bolstering that youth on the back end would be nice. And a trade I have is San Jose would receive Pavel Mintyukov, and again, based off a 3-year, maybe $5 to $6 million bridge deal. And Anaheim would acquire Quinton Musty. He's nearly already a point per game in the AHL. He was a first-round pick a few years ago. They have abundance of forward prospects, like I said, but not a lot of defensemen. I think this deal could be straight up 1-for-1. I know Mintyukov has proven more in the NHL, but I think the potential of Musty could be a middle six depth score, maybe even higher. There's tons of skill. I think I could see this deal being a 1-for-1 and great for both sides. Now, Nashville Predators. In Nashville, I mean, they're just, I don't care what they do. I don't even know why I brought them up, but it's something they're going to have to do. Make some moves, maybe make a splash. They have some options. Both options they drafted in 2023, and Matthew Wood, who was 15th overall, and Tanner Molendijk, who was 24th overall. Both great prospects. I am a big fan of Molendijk. I thought even though Canada did shitty in the World Juniors, he's a great skater, can move up and down the ice, very smooth, can move the puck. Matthew Wood, he's kind of bounced around leagues, but he still has the offensive potential. I think he's put up some points this year already in the NHL. So either or, I feel like could be 1-for-1, but I think, again, you've seen Mintyukov do it. Yes, this year he's struggling, but you've seen in his rookie year, he's shown that at times he can play in the NHL. His rookie year was very, very good. So Matthew Wood and Molendijk could get it done. Not both, like one of them. And maybe a sweetener, I think a low-end pick. I don't think you have to go as high as a second, but I think maybe Nashville could pursue that, but they are a dog shit team, so I feel like they wouldn't want to give up a second. But I think either option A or B of Wood or Molendijk tagged onto a third or a fourth, I could see get this deal done. Now, obviously, I'm going Toronto. They are desperate need of some young top 4 D-men who can put in some effort, can skate, can play both ends of the ice. And I think I would love to see what Mintyukov can do on this team. And it's a player who I think Toronto keeps trying to do these roster move for move. They want to trade Carl, they want to trade Domi. I don't know what fucking value these guys have. A player who would really entice Anaheim would be like an Easton Cowan. It's very risky for Easton Cowan because honestly, I think he's been playing very, very solid. And I think he's been getting better and better. But again, if Tree Living is desperate and the whole MLSC is in shambles, this is a deal that I wouldn't hate if I saw us get done. I could see maybe Toronto having to tag in, maybe a second. I don't think they would need to for the potential of Cowan. And I think this could be 1-for-1. But again, for Mintyukov's experience and how much he's already shown at the NHL level, I think possibly a third, definitely a second with Cowan could get this done for both sides. Now we're going to go to Detroit, where they have a ton of prospects. They have some guys in the system. Eisman loves high IQ, mobile defenseman, big player. They have that right side with Sider and Axel Sending Pellikka. They obviously have Edmonds on the other left side. If you can add Mintyukov to the left side, that is a great future top 4. The guys who can, I'm not saying all guys can do it. All Axel Sending Pellikka is obviously more of an offensive threat. But Edmondson, Sider, and Mintyukov, that's a pretty scary 3 guys, and Sendin Pellikka can run that offense. So again, a lot of these are just prospects in the system. And I know Detroit is very high on a player like Nate Danielson, who was, I think, 9th overall a few years ago. Mobile, shows tons of effort, puck hound, great offensive player, has great potential. Again, I could see this being a 1-for-1 deal. Because Mintyukov, again, like I keep saying, he's shown what he can do, but he's been struggling this year. So I don't think they need to get too greedy. And I think if they can get Nate Danielson, I think that could be a 1-for-1. Again, both players drafted in the top 10. Anaheim does have an abundance of forwards, but they have some defense as well. They don't have to rush Nate Danielson whatsoever. Again, like the other players, I could see Detroit maybe adding on a third, but I don't think you need to go much higher than that. I know Easton County said second or third, maybe same thing with Nate Danielson, but I think that deal can get done. Now we're going to go to Seattle. They need some kind of young, high upside D badly. Francis loves kind of stockpiling futures. They have Ty Nelson. They don't have a lot of young defense on that back end. Obviously, you have Montour, you have Vince Dunn, who are two great defensemen, very fond of their games. But if Seattle want to make a splash, I could see them adding a piece like Jamie Alexiak to a deal like this. A lot of teams have been very high on him. I mean, we're talking about a guy who's, 6'7", 6'8", pretty mobile for a guy that size, is tough. His offensive game isn't as bad as people think it is. He can move the puck. He can get up and down the ice. He can wire that fucking thing. Anaheim could definitely, that would be a great addition for Anaheim as well. It does make a ton of money. And then if, again, Mintyukov is more valuable than an Alexiak, so maybe toss in like a Carson Rakoff or a Ty Nelson, like I said. Rakoff has shown he can score at most of the levels, can continue to do so. Ty Nelson is a high motor, bit on the undersized of defenseman, but he's built like a shit brick house, as Biz would say. But I think Jamie Alexiak tie with one of those players could get a deal done for Mintyukov. Last two here. Now I have the Calgary Flames. Craig Conroy loves young defensemen. They need to get younger faster in a tough spot. And a player who has been in the markets definitely with Toronto as well as Rasmus Andersson. And again, if this was a trade, I feel like getting traded to a place like Anaheim, beautiful weather, beautiful city, I feel like he would a place he can extend. The future is incredibly bright. He'd fit great on that right side. Like him and Lacombe would be incredible. You have Trouba, who's been playing awesome. Gudas can be that sixth man on that third pairing. And Rasmus Andersson having a great year on a shitty team. So I could see Rasmus Andersson signing, an extension at 8x8 because, again, if they were going to sign a bridge deal for Mintyukov at 3x5, 3x6, they have so much cap space this summer. Yes, they have to sign Leo. Yes, they have to sign Cutter, but they don't have no cap issues. In Calgary, obviously, you get a young defenseman in Mintyukov to kind of maybe pair with Perek for the future. Anaheim would have to give up more because I value Rasmus Andersson if he signs an extension more than Mintyukov. So Pavel Mintyukov and maybe Anaheim's 2027 second or third, something like that. I think they'll get that deal done, and I think it works best for both sides. Now, the final one, and this one's more for fun. My brother is a massive Vancouver fan, so he's in shambles. This one's more fun and very, very unlikely, but I think it's something to think about. If Vancouver continues to trend the way they are, and the reports keep coming out, if they know he's not going to sign, if Quinn Hughes is not going to sign, they have to trade him sooner rather than later and get an absolute haul. The amount of money or amount of leeway and amount of stock you get right now rather than next year. You still get a lot next year, but this year you get a fucking Brinks of what are prospects, futures, everything you need. And Anaheim is, again, they're in the game now. They're in the win now mode. They're young. Quinn Hughes is still young. So, I mean, you're talking about Mintyukov, 2 firsts, 2 seconds. Anaheim has abundance of draft picks. So you're talking about a 2026 first, a 2027 first, a 2026 second, and a 2027 second for Quinn Hughes. And again, I feel like the extension would have to be in place. Either, a 3x12, maybe a superstar bridge deal, as we call it, because bridge deals kind of are different for certain players. McDavid is 2x12. Quinn Hughes would be like a 3x12 or something. Or if he likes it, Anaheim can see his brothers coming over in the future and sign maybe an 8x16 or 17. Or, a 5-year by 14 or something. So there you have it, guys. Let me know what you think. There's a few teams I could see him going to, and they're fun kind of making these trade packages. I think he can be worth quite a bit, yes. His rookie season was really good this year. He's been he's getting scratched. He hasn't really been producing, but I still think the potential's there. He's only 21 years old. He was a 10th overall pick defenseman. His rookie year, he was awesome, can skate, two-way defenseman. he could be worth the lot. He can fetch a first. I mean, fuck, if Brandon Carl's getting a first and Fraser Mintyukov, I think, can be a lot more. So, I'm hoping these rumors heat up. It'll be a lot of fun to expect a blockbuster trade. Anaheim is big game hunting now, and they now have a piece who they maybe can play around with. So let me know what you guys think. Please comment, like, subscribe. Check out the Buzz Mafia YouTube channel, as well as Buzz Mafia on Spotify. And go check out Buds and Pucks on X, Instagram, and TikTok. I'll see you guys later.
Tavares coming out, sends it in a goal. They score! They score! Holy Mackinac, they score! Morgan Riley! Mo Riley! The Leafs have won it! They're going to the second round!
Gonna run for it, he got it! And there he goes! Inside the 10, the 5! Oh, the play of the year in the